Hi, I'm Chuck Colson with this week's 2-Minute Warning. My friend Robbie George is used to controversy, so you shouldn't be surprised to learn that he's the target of an internet petition that seeks to punish him for his work on behalf of the family and traditional marriage. The petition calls on Princeton University Board of Trustees to publicly repudiate Professor George's anti-gay bigotry. If the board fails to do this, the petition has threatened to endeavor to educate society against donating to or attending Princeton. Given the number of applicants Princeton turns down every year, I don't think they've got much to worry about on that score. But that's not to say these kind of tactics don't work. They can and have. 3 decades ago, a German political scientist, Elizabeth Noel Neumann, coined the expression the spiral of silence. Noel Neumann, who actually wrote for a Nazi newspaper during Hitler's years, describes how people are silenced in debates. She should know. As the word silence suggests, it's not a matter of persuasion. Instead, people hesitate to express a position contrary to the acceptable one out of fear of reprisal, and tyrants exploit this. People also tend to remain silent when they simply don't want to be out of step with what's perceived to be majority opinion. I say perceived because often the acceptable opinion is actually a minority one. Its dominance flows from the way in which it's presented by the media and by strong-willed advocates. The applicability to Robbie George's situation should be obvious. There's no reason to believe that more than a small minority of Americans believe that holding a traditional view of marriage makes one a bigot. After all, every time the issue's been put to the voters, a majority of voters have voted against so-called same-sex marriage. They wouldn't have done that if they thought it was equated with bigotry. Yet because of the way the media frames the issue, people are often afraid to speak out. And of course, gay rights advocates are not timid about calling even the most civil advocates of traditional marriage, like Robbie, bigots, homophobes, and even monsters. Thus, many choose to remain silent and inadvertently reinforce the idea that only bigots oppose same-sex marriage. Well, the good news, folks, is we can break this spiral of silence. If brave people insist on speaking out, then the fears and illusions that created the spiral of silence lose their power. People begin to realize they're far from alone. Obviously, Robbie George is brave, but you need to be also. We all need to speak out and make it clear that there's nothing bigoted about defending the traditional family. And the first step to speaking out is to sign your name to the Manhattan Declaration. 500,000 supporters of human life, traditional marriage, and religious freedom have already done so. Come to the Colson Center website and we'll link you to the Manhattan Declaration. Read it, sign it, share it with your friends. If you support the sanctity of human life, the sacredness of marriage between one man and one woman, and religious freedom, you are not alone. It is time to break the spiral of silence. I'm Chuck Colson. That's this week's 2-Minute Warning.